just little selfishly, I just really like listening to the musical stylings of this ohana. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna bring some music, and we're gonna invite John Osorio to the stage, and his amazing keiki on her way up. Mother, warrior, leader, frontliner as well too, poet. Hopefully we get some of that action today too. But they have a few messages for us via the artistic stylings of Ohana Osorio. Big round of applause, Iolani Palace again for John Osorio and Heoli.
Aloha, before we start, I just want to thank Iolani and Noi Noi for those really brilliant speeches. Noi Noi's history of the taking of our government and that establishment of that fake government, and Iolani, especially pointing to the future. Really, everyone needs to go to these hearings on the military leases.
Ew.
We will be there at Leilehua High School giving testimony on the 11th. That song is called Puleinoke Ea, a prayer for sovereignty.
So we're gonna break a really important rule, which is that if someone else is on the list to sing, you don't usually sing their songs. But Lico Martin wrote all the movement songs, so we're gonna sing one of his songs. And hopefully he doesn't get mad at us. Stop.
And the reason we're singing this song is for all of the brothers and sisters who have really been moved around, dislocated, disinherited, dispossessed. And this has happened a lot on this island from the 1920s when they were moving our people off of Waikiki and off into other places. I tell you truthfully, that term homelessness, which we do not like, but that houselessness, that was started over 100 years ago by the territorial government. and it hasn't stopped. So we dedicate this song to our people who are still struggling to survive.
this next song we're going to sing, you might hear it a few more times today. That's not uncommon. This song was written in 1893 at the request of the Royal Hawaiian Band. Some of you may know that shortly following the illegal overthrow of our Hawaiian kingdom, is that church bells? They're just celebrating. Weird. Shortly after the illegal overthrow, they were requiring people to take oaths of allegiance to the provisional government anyone who worked a public position was required to do so lest they lose their jobs. And many people refused: school teachers, firefighters, other folks in public office. But the Royal Hawaiian Band walked out en masse. They refused, yes, give them a round of applause, the Royal Hawaiian Band. And they asked their friend, Iolani Wright Prendergrass, to write a song in honor of their commitment, not just their personal commitment, but the commitment of the Lahui to resist this overthrow, to refuse incorporation into this provisional government. And this has become one of the most famous songs of Hawaiian resistance to this day. You can hear it at political gatherings, but you can also hear it at first birthday parties, at graduation parties, at celebrations of life. And we sing this song over and over and over and over again, not just because it is a stunningly beautiful and poetic mele, but because it reminds us of our commitment to this place, this Āina, Hawaii, and to our people, Kalahui, and anyone who gathers under the banner of Kalahui Hawaii, whether they be Kanaka Maoli or not. We sing this mele to remind us that we are ever loyal to Hawaii, to our queen, Li'uokalani, but also anyone who commits first to our Āina, first to the health of our people, first to a decolonial anti-Americanist future. So please sing this mele with us. You should know it. If you don't, you can look it up. It is called Kaulana Napua.
Kaulana Napua Hawaii, Kupaʻa hope o ka Āina, Iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino, Palapala anu me ka paka. Kaulana Napua
one more song for you folks. You should tell the story of this song so I don't mess it up.
You would miss this.
I would.
Early in the year 1895, a number of patriots banded together to protest, well, not just to protest, but to try and unseat the Republic. When it became really clear that the United States was not going to act to restore the Queen, they decided that they needed to act themselves. Led by a remarkable number of people, including Wilcox. They gathered close to 600 men. They found money to purchase arms. They intended to distribute those arms down in Kahala and then march to the homes of the Republic leaders, arrest them, and take them down to boats that would send them out of the country forever. The revolt did not succeed. As people have been saying all afternoon, you know this, the Republic had spies everywhere. The story of their attempt leaked, and the Republic was ready for them. They routed the men, and then they arrested the Queen. They arrested the Queen on a charge of misprision of treason, which means that she was aware of this treason and didn't report it to the proper authorities. But the Queen had never sworn allegiance to the Republic and was still considered the sovereign. They tried her, they threatened to execute her and her nephews, including Wilcox and Hoʻihoʻi and others. And in the face of that, she surrendered to their will. They shut her up in a room up in this palace for about 6 months. And there, they tried to prevent her from having any sign at all that her lahui still supported her. Meanwhile, in Hawaiian language newspapers and even in English newspapers, songs and mele were written to celebrate her, to praise her bravery and her graciousness and her aloha. They did all of those things. And those were published in newspapers. The Republic allowed her one visitor every now and then, her lady-in-waiting, Jenny Wilson. And Wilson would bring flowers from her garden wrapped in those newspapers. And the gift, of course, the Queen was able to see and read for herself the love and devotion of her lahui. We do this song that she wrote. She wrote for her people she loved and who loved her.
E
everybody knows everybody. He's got better quality right here.
Better quality?
Hawaii News Now didn't have the opening footage. He asked Pikachu for my Facebook. I said, you want part 2? Follow his footage right here. Look what we found.
Aloha nui kako. Here we are again at Iolani Palace, celebrating Hawaiian independence. Talking about the history, talking about the truth, talking about our identity. Mahalo to all of our guests who have come today. Mahalo to our guests who are still coming up to the stage. Don't go anywhere. We have a special performance today by the living legend, Uncle Liko Martin. How about a big round of applause, Liko Martin? And of course, if you know Uncle Liko, then you know how important Laulani is. So a big round of applause for Laulani Teo, who's been at the front line movement, sovereignty, justice.
Squadron
very
Commander.
long time. Commander in charge. She don't like the attention, but we're gonna give it to her anyway. Mahalo Laulani. Mahalo Uncle Liko for being here again and always supporting Hawaiian sovereignty events such as this. If you're having a good time, how about a round of applause? Mahalo everyone for being here. Mahalo to Kumunoi Noi Silva. What an interesting fact that how weaponized and how fearful the occupational government was, that they flooded these palaces and these steps with military force. Such an important story to tell. But as we all know, and the most important part of her mo'olelo is that we have not ever stopped our resistance to American occupation. So our kuleana is to ho'omau, ho'omau, ho'omau. Mahalo to Iolani Sonoda for coming in on behalf of Kalahui Hawaii and sharing important manao. Talking about the ending of our Lisa's gang. We need to show up, we need to be loud, we need to be active, we need to mobilize, we need to organize. Independence is in our hands, everyone. In a few moments, we're gonna start off with some music, but we want to bring up some special speakers from the community to talk about alliances. Our first speaker today, over from the island of Maui, has been a professor at the University of New York for several years, and he's come back home to help out his home community, not just Hawaiians. And he's here as an important ally for us, and here to share an important story and message on behalf and in commemoration of Hawaiian sovereignty restoration. So in a few moments I'm going to bring up Mr. Dean Serenillo. We also have a few members that we also want to introduce that should be on their way up to the microphone in a moment. They have a chance to share some of our different organizations that are here present today. We want to give them a little bit of time to share some updates. We're bringing up Voices of Peace, Jewish Voice of Peace. We're bringing Mālama Mākua, Uncle Sparky, still on his way up. Please don't go anywhere. And we have more community voices coming our way. So without further ado, while Uncle Liko and Laulani warm up real quick, we're gonna bring them to the microphone for some important words. An important ally in the pursuit of justice and sovereignty for Hawaiians. I want to bring his name and I want to bring his voice to the stage. Please help me welcome with a big round of applause, Dean Serenillo. Pai pai lima kako.
Aloha mai kako. Good to see everybody. Mahalo for coming out today. on one of the most obnoxious American holidays, maybe next to Thanksgiving. So when Imai asked me to speak today, he's asked me to just basically give a rant on the 4th of July, and I thought I can do that. So I was thinking about what it is specifically about the 4th of July that is so bothersome. What is it about the 4th of July that is so hypocritical? What are at the foundations of the United States that has allowed it to grow into the empire that it is threatening the conditions of life on the entire planet through climate catastrophe? And I think it's three basic things, and these are things that we all know. So one is genocide. They're declaring independence, they're making a declaration of independence even as they're not recognizing the sovereignty of Native Americans on their land. Everywhere they go, wherever the United States goes, it brings death to the indigenous peoples of the world. The second thing that I think that is bothersome or foundational to American independence is slavery or labor exploitation, right? So that race works by making it so that certain people are imagined as slaveable, right? That brown people are imagined as slaveable of the working class. Anti-black racism, foundational to the United States. These two things I think are foundational. And the last thing is war. RIMPAC, Red Hill, everywhere we go, especially on this island, war constitutes this place in such a strange way that it is everywhere and nowhere, right? It's so normal. And the United States is never a nation that goes to war. The United States is war. And so these three things I think are foundational and are the things that make it so hypocritical, that are so difficult to identify, but they're also foundational to Hawaii as a US state. And I'll end with this, that we talked a lot about the resistance in the 19th century, and Noenoe Silva brought up Abigail Kuehelani Campbell, who helped to organize and lead the opposition to annexation, successfully defeating it in 1897 through the petitions. Her daughter, Kamakila Campbell, was the most vocal and public figure in opposing statehood. And she opposed statehood on January 17th. So January 17th, 1946, right there at Iolani Palace, in the throne room, she orchestrated it so that she would be the only one testifying in opposition to statehood. She does this on January 17th so that everyone knows she's linking the overthrow, the illegal overthrow, to statehood. And she spoke to an audience of 800 in what they quoted as thunderous applause. And she spoke out against statehood, she spoke out against the Big Five, and she talked about independence. They asked her, okay, if you don't want statehood, what form of government do you want? She said an independent form of government. And so we live in a time of disaster, right? From Red Hill to Lahaina, Mauna Kea, we can go on and on and on, but not just here, everywhere in the world. And this catastrophe is no longer a singular event, it's become our steady state. And all of these disasters have common origins in our global economic system that are foundational to slavery, to war, to genocide. And that's, for me, why I feel it's so urgent to fight for independence. To really believe in independence is to the benefit of everyone in Hawaii, even settlers, even if they don't know it, to their benefit. And so mahalo for allowing me to speak to you. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Big round of applause once again for Dean Serenade, everyone. It's important for us here to make sure that we amplify and elevate the calls to justice, not just here in Hawaii, but around the world as well, to understand and to analyze that our suffering is their suffering as well, that our freedom is their freedom, that our justice is their justice, our struggle is their struggle, our ea is their ea as well too. So mahalo to our guests for coming up today. I also want to call out and make sure she's making her way to the stage, because I saw her Joy Enomoto, where you at, Joy Enomoto? It's about time to light that firecracker, but before we get to Joy, we are going to introduce another one of the organizations that were very important in the support of today's events. I want to bring to the stage, on behalf of Anakbayan. They have information, so please go check them out. They've been here all day. I want to thank them for being here and also for sharing important messages that we need to hear in Hawaii. So please, with a big round of applause for the representative of Anakbayan here today, ladies and gentlemen, Ken. Pai Lima.
Aloha mai kako and magandang tanghali. My name is Ken Reyes and I am with Anakbayan Hawai, a youth organization dedicated to struggling with the Filipino masses for national democracy in the Philippines and to international solidarity with occupied and oppressed peoples around the world. Mahalo nui for allowing me to share on this platform. As we reflect on the mana'o shared by previous speakers, some of whom are my beloved professors, I want to call our attention to how the Philippines and its peoples have also been entangled in the US capitalist imperialist project with Hawaii. A few months ago, a group of UH scholars convened for the 1898 Project Summit, which explored the devastating consequences of US imperialism in Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, lands that were taken from its rightful peoples by the United States. During the summit, they discussed the various historical events that led to contemporary political conditions in which these countries find themselves, including how the US acquired the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Guam from Spain, while in the same year illegally annexed the Kingdom of Hawaii. This is 4 years after insurgents deposed Queen Liliuokalani and declared Dole as the president of the new provisional government. As a scholar who studies the cause and impact of political violence in the Philippines, I've been learning more and more about how all of the violence that Filipino peoples today have been experiencing find its roots in the American military occupation, which had set up our nation to become politically, economically, and culturally subordinate to and dependent on their command. Not to mention, the US also massacred hundreds and thousands of Filipinos during the Philippine-American War, which has remained largely unacknowledged as a mass atrocity even to this day by the US government. Today, the Philippines is under an administration of Bongbong Marcos, the son of the former dictator Ferdinand Marcos, whose US-backed autocracy is responsible for the murder of thousands of political dissenters. After Rodrigo Duterte's disastrous presidency, part of which resulted in heightened tensions in the West Philippine Sea, President Marcos decided to renew his allyship to the US and its military, which further entrenches the country in the midst of the US and China's toxic, masculinist, geopolitical posturing and aggression against each other. Because of the Visiting Forces Agreement and the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, which allows the United States military to continue using and further expand onto Philippine soil and waters to supposedly enhance maritime security and defensive strategies in the region, the Philippines today continues to be a pawn for US interests in the Pacific. With the RIMPAC Games taking place at this very moment and for the next several weeks, Hawaii is also in a similar position to the Philippines, as the US Indo-Pacific Command reiterates Hawaii as a strategic location for advancing and protecting its various agendas, including the assurance that the US will always have control of and command over the entire region. It's in their website. Subsequently, these war games and training exercises are known to have detrimental effects on our environment, as well as increased exploitation and harm against women, queer folks, and sex workers. Moreover, they are training for the very purpose of killing others and protecting what they claim is supposedly theirs. This type of political imposition is exactly what Kanaka Maoli and the Filipino peoples alike have been fighting against since the US stepped foot into their respective nations. The US is also responsible for all the economic insecurities that plague both Hawaii and the Philippines today, as Hawaii is forced to rely on tourism and the military to secure its economy, Kanaka Maoli are continually being displaced on their own lands. This has forced many Hawaiians to make a living elsewhere and migrate away from their rightful homes. The same goes for the Philippines, whose economy is highly dependent on exporting migrant labor. I myself am a product of this migration and have been estranged from home since I was a teenager. I know intimately how tourism, the military, and migrant labor only serves the interests of the US and continues to enslave us to an economic modality that does not actually sustain or nourish the people or the environment. As a settler to Hawaii and a displaced Filipino immigrant, I, alongside my comrades at Anakbayan Hawai, stand in solidarity with Kanaka Maoli and their struggle for Ea, for rightful sovereignty over these lands and waters, their birthright and relations. We recognize that Hawaii was illegally annexed by the United States, and we reject the pragmatist, elitist, and defeatist idea that true liberation from the imperialist tentacles of the United States is far-fetched and cannot be attained. We must stop letting the colonizer impose on our collective imaginations. We must rise above the rubbish and noise that tells us to keep our head down and mind our own business. In the words of Palestinian poet Rafif Ziadah, "We teach life, sir. We teach life. We Palestinians wake up every morning to teach the rest of the world life, sir." So let us teach life to ourselves and to each other, to our families and friends and communities, and yes, even to our enemies. Let us also listen and let one another, the lands and the waters, and all other living things teach us life. As fervently as we fight against the evils of capitalism, militarism, and imperialism, let us not forget to fight even more fiercely for life, which binds and connects us all together in this struggle. Mahalo nui and maraming salamat. Just some calls to actions that are coming up soon. There's going to be a sign waving action that's happening on Thursday, July 11th at the Pacific Fleet Command on the corner of Halava Drive and Kamehameha Highway, I think from 4 to 6 p.m. It's going to be posted on social media, so please stay tuned for that. And please also attend the public meetings on the proposed retention of the 6,000 plus acres of land. We will not let the military take back these lands. And so let's all show up and let's fight together for Hawaiian liberation. Thank you, everyone.
Big round of applause for Ken. Powerful words. Solidarity, unification. Ea. Mahalo, everyone. What an important message that was. Ea, life, sovereignty, the ability to rule, the ability to rise together. What an important message. Mahalo to all of those who are supporting not just the Hawaiian cause, but who are supporting causes all around the world. No other cause recently has caused more controversy, has caused more heartache and grief. And nights crying for thousands and millions of people around the world. And of course, I'm talking about the assault on Gaza, the struggle of the Palestinian people, who for us as Hawaiians must understand and must realize that their struggle is our struggle. The more we understand their occupation, the more we understand our occupation as well too. They are brothers, they are sisters, they are mothers, they are fathers just like us. And we need to rise and support them as humanity dictates that we do, as Kanaka of this world. And so we want to bring up and give some time and space to elevate the call for solidarity, the call for peace, the call for Palestinian liberation. And we want to invite an important guest speaker to represent Hawaii for Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a big round of applause for Ma'an, Pa'ipaili Makako.
Before I share a few words, can we please have a moment of silence? If able, please stand up and join me to honor the lives, the precious lives lost across oppressions in the world right now. The lives lost on these lands that we stand on right now. Thank you. You may be seated if you'd like. My name is Ma'an Oda, and I'm here today as a native Palestinian man who has been forcibly displaced and has lived in a refugee camp on my own land my entire life, forbidden to plant a tree or even use the name Palestine. As a native man who comes from a colonized annexed land and who is currently standing on another colonized annexed land, the entire existence of my oppressor was only and solely achieved through ongoing massacring of my family and community members, by demolishing of our home, stealing our land, erasing our memories and our favorite books, throwing us in refugee camps with no access to healthcare, appropriating our food and heritage for international display, monetizing off of our culture, assassinating our idols and brilliant minds, besieging us and controlling the air we breathe, denying our access to clean water, never enough to thrive, kidnapping us at the darkest hours of the night and throwing us into military prisons for months on end without trial, killing all the little dreams we had. This is not only a story of my people though. This is the story of every oppressed nation on this planet. The story behind July 4th, the story of 1989, the story of 1948. So how dare we fight alone if our oppressors are unified? So let me remind you that your sovereignty, Hawaiian sovereignty, indigenous sovereignty, is a prerequisite for my sovereignty and vice versa. That our struggles are interconnected and that our collective liberation is the only path forward. The very empire that annexed your land, militarized your soil, and exploited your resources is the very empire that's dropping bombs on our head right now. This is a pivotal moment in the trajectory of our struggle for liberation. The ongoing genocide in Gaza is truly and solely possible because it is financially backed up and morally justified by the racist West. So as long as American tax dollars continue to fund the ethnic cleansing of other nations, then let that remind you that you are not free, and that your freedom and liberation from this colonial empire and imperialist system is the single most productive way to support the freedom and liberation of other nations, including Palestine. Lastly, the process of liberation is irresistible and irreversible. Assata Shakur, member of the Black Liberation Movement, once said, "Nobody in the world, nobody in history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral standards of the people who are oppressing them." So we must refuse to become transactions no matter the price. We must refuse to abide by Western terminology. We must refuse to conform to selective and racist international standards of modernity that only apply to the lightest of skins. Those who are from the land sacrifice themselves to protect a single olive tree. Those who colonize the land set the soil on fire. Those who are from the land live off its sandy beaches and strawberry fields. Those who colonize the land detonate its terrain to build prime real estate. Those who are from the land die for the land, and those who colonize the land kill for it. The land is ours. We will remain, we will resist, and we will return. Thank you.
Big round of applause once again from my end. Their struggle is our struggle, their freedom is our freedom, and we are connected, we are united forever. Mahalo for that important message. Mahalo for being here today to share with our Kanaka Maoli, to share with our allies as well the important story from the Philippines to Palestine. These are important messages. We want to bring up one more important speaker before we take a quick musical break. An important Kanaka, a voice of truth and justice and solidarity, and somebody who's very powerful, and I'm sure is here with equally a powerful message has been shared this morning. So a big round of applause, Iolani Palace, and all of us who are here today. Help us welcome to the stage Miss Joy Enomoto.
Aloha mai kako. Like my comrade before me, I want to ask you all to stand up. Stand up. Stand up for Hawaii. Come closer. Look at each other. I want you to turn to each other and say, we are not American.
We are not American.
I cannot hear you. We are not American.
We are not American.
And we will live forever as Hawaiians. We will live forever as Hawaiians. We know what they have taken. I am not here to talk about what they have taken. What are we taking back? We are taking back Makua. We are taking back Haleakala. We are taking back Pohakuloa. We are taking back every militarized moment that they think they've taken from us. We are taking back every inch of land. We are reclaiming our vine. We are reclaiming our oceans. And most importantly, we are reclaiming our governance. Where are we going, Kanaka? Where are we going? I do not want to spend our days in the 19th century talking about what they took. I want to talk about the 21st and the 22nd century, where we have our lands back, where we are in solidarity with every other oppressed nation, and we make sure they get their lands back. We are a free people. We are so powerful, they have not killed us yet. We are still here. We are still here on our land. We are going to govern again. But you have to believe that. There is no white man in any White House that is going to give you anything. There is no promise that any soldier is going to make to you that is going to be true. Who is going to run this country? Is it going to be us? Say it. We are going to run this country. This is our land. Now and forever. So I say to you, fuck Rimpak. Go to Pu'uloa. Go to all the places where the military is trying to take our beaches, is running things up. Go to Pu'uloa and occupy that. Take that back. Let them know this isn't about fucking sign waving. This isn't about banner drops. This is about building power. How do we build power? How do we build power? It's not little tiny things. It's one wall of resistance. We are one wall of resistance. We are that wave, right? We were a mighty wave on Mauna Kea. Why are we not rolling thunder on the land? We need to remember how much power we have. And that power comes when we put our egos away and we build power together. Ayo. Okay, I'm gonna close with this. Let's just say it one more time. We are not American.
We are not American.
We are not American.
We are not American.
We will die as Hawaiians.
We will die as
Ayo.
E iwana oluna e piana olalo e huiana na motu e kuana kapaya. E iwana oluna e piana olalo e huiana na motu e kuana kapaya. E iwana oluna e piana olalo e huiana na motu e kuana kapaya. According to the great prophet, a great wave will come to take away and to scatter our people until one day, we will come together, we will unite, and we will rebuild the great walls of our people, the great walls of our history, the great walls of our future, and the wall that we build across the world, across the great Moana Nui, will unite us all and deliver us the peace and the justice that we all deserve. We are not just Hawaii, but we are human beings of this planet. And as human beings of this planet, we open our heart, we open our na'au, we open our mind, we open our mouth, and we open up the window of opportunity to make the change that we need, to be the resistance that our kupuna have always imagined us to be the leaders, to be the mothers and the fathers of the future, and together we can get there. Together we can get there. Hawaii loa, kuli ke kako, we must stand together. Wherever we are that great wall. We are the vanguard, and we must never forget the opportunity that we are given to make things better. So as we stand here today, united in thought, in practice, in mind, and in spirit, here at the seat of our government, Iolani Palace, I want to say a deep and grateful mahalo to all of you who show up today, all of you who show up tomorrow and every day after that, to live the ea that we talk about here today. We're gonna take a quick break for you to dance, for you to enjoy, for you to shake it up just a little bit. We brought to the bandstand a very important musician who has written and composed the modern Hawaiian soundtrack. And so today, with our families, with the generations of hope, generations of farmers, generations of fishermen, generation of leaders, the future queen, the future kings, we're all here today to celebrate and to remember forever that justice is ours, that freedom is ours, and we can get it together. Without further ado, everybody, please help me welcome to the stage our next performing artist from Kauai Mano Kalanipo. You know his name, so he needs no real introduction. But please help me to give a big round of applause and help welcome to Iolani Palace, Mr. Liko Martin, Pa'ipai Lima Kako. Always with Laulani as well. Please welcome both of our musicians today. Aloha Kako.
Aloha everyone. Hey, here we are again. Okay, love hearing the same song from the whole world. This song I want to sing, I want to special mahalo to Dennis Paval, who recorded all Hawaii Stand Together. I want to play a song that I went over to see Dennis. One time got invited, asked, bring my songwriting skills, and this song Dennis was gonna sing this song. This was written for Dennis to sing. And in this song, you're gonna hear me refer to Matilda. Well, who's Matilda? Matilda is Rimpa. Okay? I graduated from Radford. Grew up right in the whole, the belly of the whole thing. So when you hear about Rimpak, that's Matilda. When Matilda comes to town, it's tiny bubbles and you're upside down. And to two people, Dennis Paval for singing all Hawaii and recording it, and for Don Ho, who asked me to write a song for the people. And 4 hours later, took this all Hawaii down to Danho. It was Danho that asked me to write this song. And but we're gonna play we'll get to all Hawaii a little bit later. So anyway, Iolani, Squadron Commander. So don't take me back to a blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. Take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear nobody calling me. Well, I just dropped by, see if I could find myself a job. Hanging around the country towns, begging from time to time. Pounding nails and a few guardrails, parted with the Portuguese jokes. But what I love best of all the rest is singing with my friends. So don't take me back to a blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. Take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me. Well, beneath the blue Hawaiian moonlight, where the palm trees sway, the beach boys sing Hoʻihoʻi Ea and sweet Kona moon. And you picture me down by the sea, singing old-time melodies, or the kind of songs that seem long gone are the ones I love to sing. But on my isle of golden dreams, it's Bali High and Waikiki, and when Matilda comes to town, it's tiny bubbles and one more round. Well, I just dropped by to see if I could find myself a job. Well, hanging around the country towns, begging from time to time. Well, I've pounded nails, a few guardrails, party with the Portuguese jokes. But what I love best of all the rest is singing with my friends. So don't take me back to a blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. Take me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me. Well, on my isle, golden dreams, it's Bali High and Waikiki, and when Matilda comes to town, it's a tiny bubbles and you're upside down. Well, I just dropped by to see if I could find myself a job. I'm hanging around the country towns, time to time. I've pounded nails, a few guardrails, parted with the Portuguese jokes. But what I love best of all the rest is singing with my friends. So don't take me back to the blue Hawaii. I wanna be in heaven by the sea. Taking me back to my little grass shack and my honey's tavern. I seem to hear Napoli calling me. Oh, take me we got this. Okay, well, Squadron Commander, take us out on a flight.
Aloha. So, I'm going to play a couple of songs. One of them, I'd like to dedicate to Kili'Iwai Hoʻikeone Camarillo, who left us yesterday as he was preparing, as he was getting all his stuff together to help set up the vigil over there. I don't know if anyone doesn't know what's happening over there under the far tree. Is that there's a vigil that we've done for many years that a kupuna named Hank Fergestrom started. He started camping alone here on the palace grounds, and then a group of people kind of came and assisted him because he's a very long time activist in our movement who has a very splendid and colorful history. And was also a deep spiritual practitioner.
He's the first guy to hijack one Hawaiian Airlines plane. True story.
He did hijack a plane.
Whatever plane
way back in the day.
He just took control of it, and he needed to go someplace. That's right.
So so Hank was also from the Temple of Lono, and so he did a lot of spiritual practice, and Kili'Iwai was one of his kako'o. Want to shout out to Kahaka, who's over there, who was given the kuleana of holding that down. And a lot of people didn't really know Kili'Iwai. Some people knew him and didn't really like him because he was very colorful and very a lot. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna ask our lahui to look around us, because those people who are a lot, they are a power source for our movement, and we need to embrace, acknowledge, and remember them and their importance. So he passed yesterday while we were preparing for this. So it's been really hard, I won't lie, it's been really hard. So I'd like to play a song that I wrote on a really hard day after a really long meeting, walking up a really long hot road in a battle that we knew that they were probably going to run us over in, but we still had to fight anyway, and we kept fighting, and we're still fighting it. And so this song is for Kili'Iwai, and I thought about doing a moment of silence for him, but that's not really Kili'Iwai. So I'd like to do a moment of noise for him, a moment of sound for him. So everybody say, Ku'e! 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 Okay, so this is for everybody who's ever had to walk that long, hard road and keep walking it, and keep walking it, and keep walking it some more. And just like from the time of our queen to now, we've been walking this hard road, and we keep walking it, and we are not going to give up, and we will never give up, and we will keep going, and we'll get stronger and stronger until we beat them. So let's hele on, everybody. Mahalo, that's for you, Levi. By the way, we're over there. If anybody would like to go over and talk story after this is Pa, or if you want to stop by anytime, there's like kind of, you know, the historic presence over there has been kind of like a relief and discussion space, kind of small, kind of kapila. We stay overnight. You know, we would have stayed over last night, but we had to wait for an actual coroner and all kind of stuff. It was pretty bad, but so we didn't make the gate. But we're staying over tonight, so we'll be there until the gate closes, and then we'll be there longer. But anybody's welcome to visit and you know, share any stories that you want. We're doing some hokupu over to the Ahu. Also, you can pick. We're gonna be making art. And you know, feel free to come over and make some art. Also, there's some stickers. There are some, you know, different kinds of Aloha Āina stickers you can pick up over there. There's also a Fuck Rimpak sticker. So sorry, Auntie, but yeah, there's some of those over there. So go ahead and get them. They are free of charge. And I want to mention that the last time I played that last song was at a rally in Washington, D.C. at George Washington University, where the students were rallying for Palestine, and it was incredibly powerful. They swarmed the campus, and the police were arresting somebody. The crowd surrounded them, pulled the guy away from them, and then destroyed the barricade, stacked it up in the middle on top of, right behind George Washington's statue, and used it as a stage. So, you know, there is, while there's, you know, we can't do that every single day, but I think we should keep in mind the kinds of things that are going on there. And that was the last time that I played that song, and it was while I was in Washington, D.C. that I heard about this really big protest for RIMPAC that was happening in San Diego that we just came back from. And you know, I want to emphasize right now, as we speak, as we are here, there are over 25,000 troops invading and occupying our land during RIMPAC, which goes until August 1st, from 29 different countries. You know, that's happening right now on our Āina. Right now, they're running around. The strip clubs have their welcome signs up, so that gives you an idea about what's going on. And you know, they're from many countries, including Israel, who is, of course, committing genocide in Palestine. So, you know, it was a really powerful moment that a lot of people, and a lot of them were the wonderful Filipina young people who, like as the Anakbayan folks that you heard from earlier, were rallying in hundreds and hundreds of people. I've never seen hundreds of people for a RIMPAC demonstration in all the many years I've been doing it. And they were doing that for us, for Palestine, for all of the occupied countries. And I think we need to know that internationally, we are getting that attention, and we are doing that. So we need to stand up, we need to rise up, we need to join, we need to support other countries, other occupied countries. We need to stand for human rights everywhere. And we need to liberate ourselves so that when others stand up for us, that we will be standing with them and we'll be standing strong. And that is how we are going to huli colonization for everybody. So, with that, I'd like to play this song. It was just like a play around jam song, like the last RIMPAC. But they asked for, we were playing around with it and they really liked it. So we played it at this really big summit of, you know, with many people. That was standing room only. It's amazing to see the attention over there. So I want to play it now. I want to give a shout out to Joy. was who you just heard from, who was the keynote speaker at that, and you know, Joy was really crucial in educating people about all the effects of RIMPAC and has been doing it for a long time, just as Uncle Liko has been doing it since RIMPAC began in 1971. So, okay, you'll get a pretty good idea of the chorus pretty quickly. So, if you can, sing along. Okay. Auntie said that Aloha will bring peace to this world. Ku'e, Aloha, Āina is how that peace was gonna be unfurled. Independent, indigenous Pono is what we're talking about. So now let's say it loud and clear. U.S. out! Please take your whole world can be free.
Okay, well, now. Okay. Somebody came up to me one time and wrote, well, there's a lot of songs, I gotta get the right one for you. I think today I'm gonna sing this song about patriotism. Yeah. What does that mean? Does it just have to do with like politics and stuff? Patriotism is like, kind of like loyalty, ohana, taking care, being true to what you believe in, following your heart. So this song kind of takes us back and brings us forward into time, acknowledging the patriot's dream, Lilio's dream, until such time, and you know the rest. And the time, like I shared with all the families, all the kids, people up in San Diego, you know, the Queen asked them, she called for an honest American, hoping that in their time, they would do the right thing. Well, didn't happen. So she said, if not in your time, in your children's time. And that is the time of now. Now is the time of prophecy. Many prophecies. Gathered on the palace steps, some just watched and wept, others simply fled as the Marines came marching up the boulevard with their Gatling guns and their shining swords. Oh, the Queen looked out from the palace walls, standing tall for one and all, and her song of Aloha still fills the air, and the marching band plays on. So the patriots gathered 40,000 strong, protest the taking of the sacred ground, and the Queen left her letter on the justice door, and the patriots looked on. Oh, the time went by, how it did fly. I can hear their cries behind prison walls. We die, sleeping on the sidewalks under cardboard sheets, and the patriots look on. Well, the patriots gathered at Thomas Square. They raised the flag and we are here, and the song that they sang was for righteousness, and the patriots held on. And when there's nowhere to run and nowhere you can hide, and the only thing you've got is to give up your life, and you can't buy in and you can't live free, the only things that's left is a patriot's dream. gather 40,000 strong. Protest the taking the sacred ground, and the Queen left her letters on the justice door, and the patriots look on. So the patriots gathered at the palace steps. Some just watched and some just wept as the Marines came marching up the boulevard with their Gatling guns and their shining swords. So the patriots gather 40,000 strong to protest the taking of the sacred ground, and the Queen left her letter on the justice door, and the patriots, you're holding on. Of course, we come here, hui ala loa, hui ala loa, hui ala loa. Uncle Harry, Uncle George Kimmel, and everybody. From the time all the prayers that came down to where we are now. Now is the 5th decade. Now is the time of the Pa'alima. It's the time to take control, to put your hand on it. We had 5 decades to walk around the 4 corners of the world. Now, the generation is here to put their hands on it. In other words, the Mo'o's tail has grown back. Okay? So, this song, how did Uncle Harry said it? E ho'o malumai, bring me peace. I remember standing up here with Uncle Harry, them, and George, and everybody, and this song is what we gotta do. We've done it. We gotta keep doing it, okay? Aloha ku Moko o ka ho'olave mai kino hi ko inoa o kanaloa ko he Mālama o karaka ole hiki mai na pua e ho malu mai aloli ke kako la hui o Hawai mai kalai ke mai I kalaka ua e kupa ahai ho I kaika na kanaka kauli I mako anui ke aloha no kaina. Steady gang, steady, smooth stroking steady. Yeah, we got this. See the turn coming up now. This is just about the sprinting time. Hana hana na pua o hui ala loa hana ke kaua kauholo me kaupuni whapu ka mana o hano ka pono no ka Āina I mua hana pua
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for our two musicians, Iolani and Akoliko Martin. Pai lima kako. Oh, what time is it? What time is it? Yeah, hot mic. Hot mic. Aloha nui kako, don't go anywhere yet. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. We have more musical guests coming up. I want to say mahalo to Il Nomadic. I see you out there. We got plans to bring him to the stage along with Empress Stone. We have a few musical stylings for us today to close us out. Please don't go anywhere. But first, we want to take a moment to introduce a very important speaker to the stage. And as we get ready, I just want to say a quick announcement. For those of you guys who haven't figured it out yet, there's a Lua porta potty in the backstage. Please take care. You know how it goes. Secondly, we also want to mahalo Iolani Palace for allowing us to be here. Paula and Anuhea who are out here as well. Iolani Palace is a Hawaiian place, and therefore it needs Hawaiians in it. So the kahea has been and has always been to make sure that we make this place ours, gang. We cannot forget that we are the Ea of this place, and without Hawaiians, what kind of Hawaii would it be, right? So we want to say mahalo for those of you who were able to make this day happen. I guess we're gonna bring her up for a quick word before we introduce our honoree this year for 2024. Who's a very important leader, and we want to give him a little bit of time to say a few words today on behalf of his ohana and his life commitment. As we wait for our next guest to come up, let me just remind everybody out there on July 28th, 2024, the end of this month, there'll be a big celebration at Thomas Square, where we're gonna raise the high Hawaii. We're gonna tell the story of Hoʻihoʻi Ea, and we're gonna put our seed of restoration of justice in Ea, a truly Hawaiian country, once again restored into the universe and into our keiki's future. So please join us on July 28th, Thomas Square, 12 p.m., noon, high noon, we're raising the high. If you can't be there, stop whatever you're doing, throw up your Hawaiian flag, and then don't ever take it down ever again. Ladies and gentlemen, mahalo everyone for being here today. I want to take the time to introduce and say a big mahalo to Iolani Palace for supporting us and being here today. So without further ado, we're going to bring up to the stage for a few words to help celebrate Hawaiian independence. Anuhea, pai lima kako.
Mahalo, aloha mai kako. O Shana Anuhea o Kalani Kanieli I Ko'inoa no Hawaii pai Āina Maiʻa no Hoʻau o Kebalo Uka. How's it? My name is Anuhea. I serve as the Director of Education here for the Friends of Iolani Palace. Every day, I relive January 17, 1893. Every day, it is a blessing and a challenge to be here in this space, but someone has to do it. And one of the biggest things that I hope when people come here is that not only do we yell and grieve, it is important we do that. This is the very place to, but most of all, that we use that to ignite and fuel us to continue, because we have so much work to do. This mo'olelo, this history, this reality that we share, it's a painful one, and it's not the easiest. Oftentimes, they refer to the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom as a bittersweet history. I would identify it as sour, like poi. Sour in its bitter taste, but also still beneficial to us and can still provide nutrients and life to us, that even in this pain that we feel, that we use it to continue on. So that is what I try to do here at the Friends of Iolani Palace. We teach the truth, and by teaching the truth, we have great healing through that. And with that healing, we can still continue on. So you don't only have to be here on the grounds of Iolani Palace on these significant days. You can be here all the time. And especially once a month, on the second Sunday of every month, we have Āina Sunday. And that is our mahalo to all of you for helping to continue for this place to be here. Because we don't do this on our own. It is definitely a kaiaulu, a community effort. And throughout the week, we welcome many visitors through their doors. But on these Āina Sundays, the ea, the literal air here feels different when it's filled with Hawaii's people. So I encourage that you come and be in this space, especially we offer free tours, free cultural activities, free local entertainment, and to just partake and give also back to this space. So at this time, I am feeling called to share an oli, if that's okay. This oli was composed by Haumana of Kamehameha School's Maui, and it speaks about this space that we are currently in, but about this space before any of these modern buildings were here. For this is Wahipana, sacred, legendary space. This is where Kanaka gathered in the good times to celebrate. This is where Kanaka gathered in the hard and challenging times to come together and try to figure things out. And that's why we're here today. It's a lot easier when we do it together instead of one person sharing this tour alone. So wherever you are, I ask that you open your mind, open your heart, be observant and kilo of the space around you, because I'll be speaking about the birds, the manuoku that fly around. There's kolea, but they're in Alaska right now. This oli talks about the kukalahale rain that splashes on the rooftops here in Honolulu. And it speaks about Pohukaina, the burial mound of our ali'i. And that sacred space where we're having the visual right now for Uncle. Iolani Palace, this is where we come to release and to ignite us forward. So, mahalo. E ya mai kahia o ka hai mali la lo puaina la makahema o mana mana aka o kanela e ya ku ka hale o Iolani ka mole o ka ola ke a he ai kia I na kahu ia wahi e pai ai kaua ku kala le Palia maina manu o ku kiupu me kanana pono e o koleana manu ki e no hanani mai luna une I taua ki pei puala ilihia mai nei taua hi kapu e a vahila ia ka ve kuli une ki a vahili o po kaina Pai Kalima. Eo. Ea. Eo. Ea. Mahalo nui a ka po.
Big round of applause once again. We need to support Iolani Palace. Mahalo for those important words. We need to fill this space. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? We're going to bring up the next group of speakers before we finish off with our special guest presenter today, representing Mālama Mākua. But before we get to him, we're going to bring over two more speakers on behalf of what is an ongoing genocide today in Palestine. So we're going to involve and invite, with a big round of applause, our hoa, who have stood on the front line with us for many, many years. Please, big round of applause for Cynthia and Diane. Pai pai lima kako, everybody.
Aloha, everybody. Diane and I are with students and faculty for Justice in Palestine at the University of Hawaii. We formed this group some 10 years ago, and Gaza. That said, this is not a new problem. The attack on the right to education has been long-going and ongoing in Palestine, and our organization has stood in solidarity with people struggling for their right to education. We oppose all forms of colonialism, racism, and apartheid. And from our particular location in Hawaii, we constitute ourselves in solidarity with Palestinians who are resisting occupation, warfare, dispossession, and now genocide. So we have, for the past 10 years, been welcoming Palestinian visitors to be in discussion with Kanaka Maoli about connections between this as an occupied land and Palestine as an occupied land. And please watch for this November's guest, who will be Fadi Jida. Since October, our group has really widened. We invite you to join us. There's a tent over there, and you can sign up to be part of our mailing list. But we also, as part of what is a global intifada, an uprising that is taking place across college campuses, we have launched a 6-point campaign, and Diane is now going to tell you about it.
So SFJP at UH, again, we are the Students and Faculty for Justice in Palestine with the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And this summer, we launched a 6-point campaign which we presented to the UH administration. Namely, they are divest, boycott, solidarity, protect, demilitarize, and educate. Namely, we demand that UH divest from all companies and institutions that are complicit in the Zionist occupation, apartheid, and genocide of the Palestinian people. To date, the University of Hawaii has almost $2 million invested in companies that are supplying weapons and infrastructure to the genocide in Gaza, and we demand that UH divest from those companies. Boycott, adhere to the guidelines for international academic boycott of Israel. Currently, UH supports independent self-study to Israel, and so we demand that UH stop sending scholars to Israel and stop funding studies that support this settler colonial state. In solidarity, we demand that UH release a statement supporting a permanent and lasting ceasefire and affirming the right of the Palestinian people to national liberation and the right of return. We affirm also the right of UH students and workers to speak out against the genocide in Gaza. To date, there have been several Title VI violations that have been filed against students and faculty who have been outspoken in their support of Palestine, and the UH administration has done nothing to protect those students and faculty, and in fact have led credibility to these allegations by entertaining those Zionist members of the UH community that continue to file these cases. And we demand that UH protect those students and faculty who have been charged with those cases. Demilitarize. We demand that UH terminate the UR contract. University-affiliated research centers are funded by the Department of Defense. Right now, your taxpayers' money, the money that goes into UH, the money that is supposed to fight for education and the health and livelihood of the Hawaiian people, they are going into research that goes into weapons and testing that are then sent to militaries all over the world. And UH must not continue this production of knowledge that leads to death and destruction. And lastly, we demand education. We demand that UH provide full cost of attendance scholarships and support to a cohort of students from Gaza so they can complete their university educations here. And we demand that UH provide funding for a 10-year line faculty position which will specialize in West Asia, Arab, and Arab diaspora studies with a focus on Palestine studies to be housed in the Ethnic Studies Department so that UH continues to fulfill its promise of creating a university that is above all for humanity. So please watch out for those campaigns. Please follow SFJP UH on Instagram. And also we have a tent right there if you want to support these 6-point campaigns. And thank you so much.
Mahalo for that message. We have one more.